You're listening to the Industry Alchemist podcast. The definition of alchemy is a seemingly magical process of transformation or creation. This podcast exists to hear the stories of entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders doing just that in their industry. We hear about the journey of the brave souls carving a new path, moving their industry and our lives forward in a seemingly magical way. This episode is brought to you by OfficeChief.com. Office Chief exists to make moving your office easy and painless. Moving an office can be a big hassle. On top of running your company, you're thrown into having to figure out what to do. Hire space planners, furniture companies, movers, IT consultants, the list goes on. It only takes 2 minutes to create a profile, and Office Chief gives you a step-by-step action plan and connects you with the top vendors in your market. Moving your office? Log on to OfficeChief.com and make it easy. I'm your host, Matt Brower, co-founder and managing broker of Column Commercial Partners, helping companies save money on their real estate. I'm also founder and CEO of OfficeChief.com, an online resource for businesses moving their office or updating their space. Hey guys, welcome to the Industry Alchemist podcast. I'm your host, Matt Brower. Today's guest got his law degree and MBA from CU in 2006. He then joined a large law firm right out of the gates. After realizing what his life would look like at a large firm, clocking billable hours that would eventually lead to becoming partner, he decided to take a different route, which was the catalyst for his entrepreneurial journey. Now founder and managing partner of Doida Law Group, he and his team help their clients grow, finance, and buy and sell businesses on a fixed fee basis, which is distinct, and we're going to talk more about that. He's a husband and father of 2 adorable girls. Welcome to the show, Stan Doida.
Thanks for having me, Matt. Yeah. Good to be here.
Yeah, and Stan and I actually, you and I have hung out quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
we originally met through EO,
Yep.
Entrepreneurs Organization, a few years back, and gotten out for a couple New Year's Eve parties and
one or two.
But we try.
My family always leaves me on New Year's Eve, and I'm left to my own devices, and I get to call my single friend Matt and get out to something fun every now and again.
I don't know if that's a smart move, or hopefully I've didn't get you in too much trouble.
No, not at all. I'm a good boy.
Perfect. Yeah. So I know that something that you. Some way you operate your firm is very distinct from your, most other law firms out there, and I want to really dive further into that, and it's that fixed fee service. Do you want to, briefly talk about how, you came to? I guess, just let's dive into that initially and talk about how you came to that conclusion.
So, post law school, I started working at a firm. I worked for some great lawyers, got to work on some good transactions, but I also did my undergraduate in economics, and so one of the things I noticed in the sort of business model of the law firm is the sort of disincentives or incentives or improper incentives that are there, and one of the things that always really kind of irritated me, and then it showed some symptoms as we dealt with clients, but clients are trying to minimize cost. They're trying to maximize value, minimize cost. And meanwhile, you have a firm where generally speaking, a partner brings in the matter and then delegates it to his or her associates. And the associates, meanwhile, have a minimum billable hour requirement that they have to meet in order to get raises, get their compensation,
bonus,
eventually be a partner. So there's these incentives for the lawyers to bill hours. There's incentives for clients to minimize giving hours because
right.
that's how their price is determined. So that always led to friction between the lawyer and the client. The client is trying to, the client might get a surprise bill one day, and that really kind of all of a sudden wrecks the relationship with the attorney. And the attorney-client relationship in its most romanticized version is this sacred relationship between an advisor and their client, and
very trusted relationship. Absolutely.
So what I've been focused on is trying to fix that disincentive, fix that, inefficiency that happens. So, one of the ways that we're working with that is through fixed fees, where we scope out a project. We say, this is how much it's going to cost. And then, when the client agrees to that, their incentives shift. They've agreed to a price. Now their goal is to maximize value out of getting that price. So what do? They engage. They ask more questions. They'll think about things a little bit thoroughly and involve the lawyer, the counselor in that process more than they otherwise would have. And so for us, and then on the flip side of that translates, that gets us to where that relationship is sort of romanticized, where we're now involved and we know everything and we're on the pulse.
That's great. I know, speaking for myself, CPAs, a lot of CPA firms operate the same way. I think twice about, calling and asking that question to, my CPA or, an attorney that I'm working with or something, because I know
it's just rational behavior.
Right. Yeah, because I want to save the cost. And I mean, if I'm doing something
valuable. Right?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
But the thing about it is, the value is not a function of the time. They're not related. We've certainly had situations where, I'll talk about both extremes. I've had situations where a client will present a fact pattern, and based on experience or based on knowledge of the law, there's a significant problem. And it doesn't take research. It just takes digging into the number of times that I've done this same sort of thing and the things I've seen go bad, the things I've seen go wrong, things I've seen go right. And to instantly give significantly valuable advice in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
On the contrary, last night I spent 4 hours reading through 71 pages, and there could have been moments where I'm fixing grammar, fixing where a comma goes, finishing incomplete sentences or clarifying things.
Right.
That, frankly, a lot of people, the clients don't view that as valuable work. So there is value to that work, but it's not, far more time consuming.
It's not the legal strategic view that we expect. Yeah, exactly.
No, it's far more time consuming to do that. And so those are just two extremes of where you can get $1 million advice in 15 seconds and pay, $5,000 for, a corrected grammar version of a document. So there's a big disconnect there and so my point is that time isn't the metric. The value of the service is what clients are buying. They're not buying time, they're buying the value of the service. And so that's the big problem I'm trying to solve in our firm. My sort of goal is to get us 100% fixed fee. We're not there yet, but we're about halfway there.
You're transitioning a lot of legacy clients that you've had. Yeah. I would imagine, for one, it's got to be a very good thing for a client to know on the top line, this is how much this is going to cost me. But yeah, it's very different than most law firms operate, and it probably takes a minute for, get your clients to, one, buy into it because it is different, and transition everyone over. It's got to be a task.
It is. And generally speaking, the price is generally a premium. So, could you find a lawyer cheaper to do, X? Yes, you can. Because what you'll do is you'll say, just do X, nothing more.
Yeah.
But when you engage with us, you're going to start to open up the floodgates. So again, the flat rate is just by its nature going to encourage you to engage deeper. So then it does take
utilize your expertise.
Yeah, there is more utilization. Yep. There's more value extracted.
Right.
And
so what you're saying is it's not going to be it's not a flat fee based on some new associate's hours.
Right.
It's the old saying, you get what you pay for. You're bringing the senior level expertise to the table, and it encourages your pay structure, encourages your clients to dive all the way in and use all of your expertise.
Right.
That's
right.
great.
And to dovetail with that, the thing that, I've worked at several law firms both national in scale and local in scale. And again, when you're billing by the hour, there's no incentive for the business to actually develop efficient processes. You're just reducing your revenue when you do that.
Right.
You're biting your own hand when you get more efficient at doing things. So, again, when we do this, we've actually now increased our own incentives to become efficient with processes. So, we have a process for intake into our firm. We have a process for getting say an operating agreement, a company set up. We even have processes for financings and M&A projects, and it's just a way to help systematize operations that every other business that you know of does.
Right.
But again, law firms, billable hour models don't always have that incentive to become more efficient. So
Yeah, it's similar, I would imagine, to my industry, commercial real estate. There's we at our firm, systematize. I geek out on that stuff. I want to be the most efficient possible without letting anything fall through the cracks. And actually, the systematizing of it helps nothing fall through the cracks.
Right, right.
So
it's amazing. I mean, we've got, I don't know, 50, 60 different, projects that are open in our queue right now between the lawyers in my firm. And, without a system in place to follow up or to check in, I mean, it's just too easy for things to fall through the cracks
Right.
if you're relying on your brain. I
right,
mean, we're not perfect.
right, yeah, exactly. Well, that's great. So, what originally what drew you to law? How did you go and want to take on the ridiculous task of getting a law degree and an MBA at the same time?
I did it the fool's way. The fool's way was graduating from college and not knowing what you're going to do, and then applying to law school. And I got in, much to my surprise, and was like, "All right, well, let's go." And I went. I happened to have gone at a time where the price of law school was significantly different than it is now. It's increased by about 5 or 6 fold since I went. And,
why do you think that is?
States pulled public funding from CU. At least, CU has gone from what was probably under 10,000 a year to 35 plus per year.
Jeez.
So I don't know what's driving that. There's probably it's just a different decision now. You can't go to law school the way I went to law school. That's not a very smart decision.
Did you have anyone in your family that was a lawyer?
No lawyers in my family. My dad was a dentist, and he owned his own dental practice, which is probably why I ended up owning my own.
Catching the entrepreneurial bug.
Just saw what it was like, making your own destiny, answering to yourself, and so it was just law was my craft, dentistry was his, and so that's what kind of happened. I mean, late in law school, I realized that that being a partner at a big firm just didn't really get me going.
Yeah.
So I made my plan to kind of get the experience from good lawyers, good law firms, and then do it myself.
Yeah, that's great. So, I went through the exact same journey myself, so I get that. So that's cool. What keeps you busy outside of work? And I know you're very involved in kind of the entrepreneurial community here. You're still in EO?
Yeah, still in EO.
Okay.
That keeps me involved. I do, outside. My family is young and growing, and they are requiring a lot of time and energy, but all fun stuff. We ski on the weekends when we can. When it's nice out, I like golfing, and but otherwise, just staying connected in the Denver community, staying involved in the entrepreneurial community is always something I'm just doing naturally. It's just part of my life. So,
what has the feedback been? And I know you actually work with a lot of companies that are also in EO. What has the feedback been, regarding your different way of billing?
I think for a lot of clients when they meet with us, especially if they're experienced with lawyers, it may be too much of a shift for them. If they've, it's just very different. They have to know how to use this. For folks who are using lawyers for the first time or for their first big project or for the first time that they're paying for it,
Right.
they might have been like somebody
At a company that they
where-
didn't see
where
the
they're-
bill.
Yeah.
Just the CFO saw the bill.
Right.
They're disconnected.
Right. It wasn't really their pockets that were affected by it. I think they really like it. I think just like most of us, you go into a store, you look at a price tag, you make a decision. It's not like you're stuffing that under your shirt and walking out the door and trying to steal it. And so,
Speak for yourself. No, just kidding.
most clients, when they agree to it, they know what they're going to pay and they pay it.
Right.
The alternative, when they're given a rate per hour and they say, here's your fee is going to be X times my hourly rate. I don't know what X is going to be. It results in, like I said, a lot of friction between the client. It results in a lot of unpaid accounts receivable for law firms. And so I think, the clients who appreciate it, they might even at first say, wow, another lawyer quoted less than you for this. And I explained this incentive thing and that they're going to engage more. Then they engage more. And, from what I see, we have raving fans about what we're doing and the fact that we're, handling everything that we say we're going to handle. And there's no marginal cost for these little things that add up.
Right. Those are the killers that you get the bill. And
Right,
it's like, wait,
right.
why am I paying?
Why did I pay for this email?
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't ask for a 5-page email.
Right. Yeah, that's frustrating. I've been there.
Yeah. I think anybody who's consumed legal services has probably been there.
Yeah.
And they don't know what is happening behind the law firm veil. Well, I kind of told you what's happening.
Yeah.
There's incentives for associates to get their hours up so they
Right.
get their bonuses.
And I love how just open you are about, hey, we are not going to be the cheapest guy in the block, and we don't have a problem with that. It's kind of like I got LASIK surgery, probably 12 years ago, and so I did all the research and I went and checked out a couple, and you go from buy one get one free LASIK eye surgery. I literally, I'm not going to mention the company, but I went and sat in the waiting room just to see the patients.
Yeah.
Because these are my eyes. I was pretty freaked out, and they were coming out of the back room just in complete angst. And,
Oh, God.
it was awful experience. I could tell. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go. So I ended up actually
That
going with the
seems
most
like-
expensive
yeah.
guy I could find.
That seems like the type of thing not to cheap out on.
Exactly. Well, so is law. So
Yeah, it certainly can be. There can certainly be some big mistakes for not thinking about things the right way or not, just acting first and not understanding what you're doing. So
Right.
Yeah, I mean, what we do as, in a lot of cases, it's helping clients understand risk. We live in, there's not a situation where you can, get rid of all the risk in the world. There's always going to be some risk. And so our job is to help clients understand that risk and figure out what risks they can tolerate and what risks they're not willing to tolerate, and see if we can fix the stuff that's intolerable. And if we can't, then they have to make a decision. But
Right.
that's really all I think you can ask for in that sort of an analysis, at least. And then, but yeah, like you said, I mean, big mistakes for doing things wrong. There can be big consequences for just doing things wrong. It doesn't matter what area of law it is. There can be big consequences.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
So the job you do is mitigating risk as much as
Yeah,
possible.
yep, and understanding and just allocating who's taking it, who's taking the risk. So
Yeah, and we have a ton of mutual friends that have used you. I have personally used you on a couple projects. You guys do great work.
Well,
and,
thank you
That's
for
my
that.
personal endorsement.
thank you for that. Thank you for that.
So you tell us again. You help businesses.
Yeah, so I say we help businesses grow, finance, buy and sell businesses. And,
Okay.
and really what that is it's three kind of buckets of work. One is the growing is what I would call corporate law. It's everything from nuts and bolts, getting your company set up, getting your partnership arranged, getting your founder agreements together, understanding stock plans, just corporate nuts and bolts. The finance piece is raising money from investors. We represent folks who are at seed stages, raising hundreds of thousands of dollars from friends and family, angels investors, to hedge fund managers, trying to raise $100 million.
Yeah, close out a Series D or something like that.
Yeah, so it ranges quite a lot there, but those are fun projects. And then I think our favorite projects are buying and selling companies, particularly the selling of companies it's always a stressful one, but it's always really rewarding to be a part of a team that helps an entrepreneur basically kind of cash out and realize hopefully some wealth or some significant dollars, because the entrepreneurial life. A lot of the times, all your money exists on paper in a balance sheet that is not like you can't just all of a sudden take it to Wells Fargo and retire.
Cash out,
right?
So peace out. Yeah.
So it's not easy to sell a business. I mean, for those who are able to sell a business, I congratulate you, because it's not easy to get there. It's very difficult to build a business that's, one, transferable, and then two, find a buyer.
Yeah.
And then get the deal done, because, that's fun for us. We're kind of in the last 90 days of that period, and there's emotions running every which way. And hopefully at the end, there's a nice little celebratory moment of, yes, we got it. We did it. Even us, we're stoked around the office when we get a closing. Like, it's just a huge release of adrenaline for us. So,
have you had anyone take you on their new yacht after you helped them peace out and cash out?
Not yet. You guys, I hope you're listening.
Come on,
out there.
If any of Stan's clients are listening.
I need that yacht trip.
Maybe I will someday. How about
Brower's coming too. So,
so in an economy like this, at least in Denver anyway, things are like just ridiculous, busy. Everyone's doing well. Mm-hmm. Things are just buzzing. What's keeping you the most busy right now? Is it companies that are selling? Is it companies that are raising capital?
It's everything. Yeah. I mean, it's new businesses starting up. It's businesses that want to take on some more capital or trying to get some of that investment dollars that are floating out there, and then the buying and selling as well. I mean, the buying market is still pretty seller favorable in terms of what's out there, and but it's all like at high levels of volume. So there's lots of activity.
Things are cranking. People are doing shit.
It just makes me wonder when
right
what's going on. But it sounds like we still got some runway out there. But yeah, I mean, Denver's going nuts. I mean, there's so much entrepreneurship happening here. Between here and Boulder and even Fort Collins now, there's tons of entrepreneurs. They're flocking here. They're flocking here from the coast.
It's one thing I love about being here in the Metro Denver, the Boulder area is just so helpful to the entrepreneurial spirit. If somebody wants to step out, take some dream of theirs, make a go at it. Like, there's so much support here, and
there's lots of resources, lots of people that have been through it, and Denver's always been I don't know, like, the people I feel are just generous here. They're kind and outgoing, and so when you reach out to somebody who's got some experience that you may need, my experience has been that they're generous with their time and their knowledge and their experience.
Right. Yeah. That's great. So I'm going to shift gears a little bit here.
Okay.
And I know that, this is something I geek out on and I love in my life is travel. Mm-hmm. I know that you went, was it about a year ago, maybe not quite, to Japan?
Oh, yeah. It was last summer.
Best trip you've ever been on? Or?
It was definitely up there. I mean, it was definitely a big a very cool trip for me. I mean, I'm half Japanese, so that was
Yeah.
like getting back to the roots there for a little bit. My whole family is Japanese here, so so for me that was just going to see where the roots
Yeah.
came from. And
Had you been there before?
no, I'd never been to Asia.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun trip. My wife and I did 12 daes, no kids in Tokyo and Kyoto, and it was a blast. We had a good time. I think the highlight was go-karting in downtown Tokyo in Pikachu costumes, or what was that? No, I was a minion, and Maggie was Olaf. We had like these mascot costumes on.
I think I saw a picture of that, actually.
So fun,
On
so
your
much
social
fun.
media. Actually, the last podcast episode we recorded, that came up.
Really?
I just asked, because this guy's lived all over the world, been all over the world.
Oh yeah.
Steve, and I asked him what his favorite place was, and he said Japan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a different world. It's a different world.
I can't wait to make it there
Yeah,
someday.
yeah.
Is it? I've heard it's super pricey. Is that true?
I
or no?
didn't find it to be crazy.
Pretty normal to
Yeah, I mean,
what we're used to.
it almost is. I mean, Denver felt as expensive as getting there is expensive.
Yeah.
And it's probably slightly more expensive than Denver, but I didn't find it I was expecting it to be, bankrupting type of cost, but
Right.
it really wasn't.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I've always been hesitant just because people have told me that.
Nah, you can
good to
find.
hear.
I will tell you, I had one piece of sushi at the fish market for $14, but that was a little pricey.
Was
but
it? It wasn't that Michelin star.
No,
was
it
it?
was
Okay.
no.
I can't remember his name.
Jiro.
Jiro, that's
Yeah,
right.
no,
Yeah.
it was just at the fish market, but it was like uni, which is like sea urchin, and it's it's just expensive. But
Probably the freshest sushi
I don't
that
know.
anyone will ever eat.
I tried it. Uni's like this big delicacy, and I don't know, man. I've had it a couple times. It's just not the right texture for me.
Really? Yeah, I've heard it. You either love it or hate it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it wasn't crazy. There were certainly places where you could blow a lot of money, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's everywhere. That's
Yeah.
everywhere these days.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll make it there someday.
Yeah.
So I know that I'm going to shift now into rapid fire. I want to get to know you
Okay.
a little more. Listeners get to know you a little more
Okay.
personally. I know that you a couple years ago started this thing called Miracle Morning. Tell us about your morning routine. Are you still doing that?
Yeah, I definitely try to. I'm pretty good with it most mornings. A couple of the routines have fallen off, but yeah, the Miracle Morning, just the concept of kind of getting up and starting your day. It starts with meditation. So, every morning I get up and I do 10 minutes of meditation. And then I do some journaling. I'll write about, kind of getting some objectives done for the day, some things that are on my mind, and just spew them on paper for 10 minutes.
Get them out of your head.
Yeah, and it's actually quite cathartic. Once you start getting in the habit of journaling, I've got, I don't know, a dozen journals completed. It's really fascinating going back and getting into your own head,
Oh, you'll go back and read them.
Oh yeah, occasionally,
wow, that's cool.
yeah. Especially like particular moments in time, like when you can remember where something was either happening really great or really bad, or you're going through something, and you can go look at what was going on, and it's amazing to see your own perspective change on things over
That's
time.
cool.
There's a affirmation and visualization piece, which has probably fallen off a little bit for me, but
What does that look like?
so the affirmation piece is just kind of telling yourself good thoughts, thinking good thoughts, and then visualizing. So visualizing an outcome. There's a famous study of people there's three groups. A group who practices darts, a group who visualizes practicing darts, and a group who doesn't practice darts. And the group that visualized practicing darts scored as well as those who actually practiced darts.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh my God.
So visualizing, is just it's an important way to get your brain, thinking about the outcome that you're trying to achieve, and sort of, I guess, for lack of a better term, manifesting your own reality there. So
Yeah.
and then exercise. So the one of the last pieces is kind of just getting some exercise for the day. I think I caught all of them. it's like savers, silence, affirmation, visualization. And reading. Yeah, reading like, reading something. So yeah, a couple of those pieces I don't, with the two girls at 8 and 5 that I got to get up and,
Your attention gets thrown every once in a while.
Yeah, so I've fallen off on a couple of those things, but yeah, I still am up every morning meditating, journaling, and try to get some exercise and all that stuff. So,
that's cool.
Yeah.
You geek out on systemization. What's your favorite technology that makes you more efficient?
Gosh, I don't even know anymore. There's too much. I got to shed some to
Everything you do is technology.
Yeah, it's like I really watch like how much time I'm looking at the phone because that reaction of like looking at the phone. I mean, the phone or the iPhone in and of itself has probably been the most efficiency driving thing, but it's also like just the biggest curse in my life too.
Right. So easy to pop on there and
Sure, and like all of a sudden you're back into work, right?
Right.
But for us, systematized wise, I mean, in our office we use a CRM to help us with both intake and project management and delegation. So that I think is probably the most critical thing that we're doing in terms of technology and what's paying the most dividends.
Which CRM do you use?
It's called Insightly, but I got to be honest with you, I don't know that matters.
Okay.
I think really
it's just the CRM.
The process of
creating
doing
a process.
I don't, I'm sure you can find. I have colleagues who are lawyers that we've consulted about this, and they ultimately have said, yeah, I need to get a CRM, and they'll choose something different, and that's fine. It'll work for them. It'll work for their process. Right. I think it's really more about just having the process rather than what does it. But
fumbling through it and relying on your brain. Yeah, as you said earlier.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, good is better than perfect in business.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Are there any books that you've read over the years that's like have been super impactful for you?
Yeah. I mean, some of the classics. I mean, we were talking. Some of those aspects of the Miracle Morning come straight out of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which is an oldie but a goodie. But
yeah,
it's a tough read. It's a tough read. It's like written in early 1900s English, and
I think I did that one on Audible.
Yeah, it's a tough read, but it's really good stuff in there. Let's see what else. For networking, I remember reading Never Eat Alone, and that really kind of helping me get going with meeting people and getting developing a network. And gosh, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that I've read. The other one that I find myself recommending to clients very frequently, especially if they're in a either contentious negotiation, maybe an adversarial situation, maybe they're firing somebody, maybe they're trying to break up with their partner, something like that. There's a book called Difficult Conversations that I think is just fantastic at helping somebody critically think about how to communicate in that situation, because it's so volatile. You say the wrong thing, and next thing you know, emotions are high again, and we can't get any rationality.
And this is personal or business.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, you could use it for discussions with your spouse or whatever. I mean, it's great stuff.
Does it help negotiating with a 5 or 8 year old?
I wish.
There's probably some gems in there that might help.
The other one that I read recently, which is called it's called Never Split the Difference. It's a negotiation book written by like an ex hostage negotiator.
Hostage negotiator.
So,
I think I've again on Audible. I'm about halfway through that book. It's been a while actually. I need to finish that.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, listeners. The truth about difficult conversations and negotiating and all that is listening. It's listening. You have to listen. You have to understand the other person's side of things and just open them up, make sure that they're heard, and they can hear your message. So
it kind of creates a space that something can actually get done.
Yeah, which is tough. It's tough. I mean, I always tell people, you got 2 ears, 1 mouth. That should be the ratio of talking to listening.
Right.
So,
Yeah. That's great. Well, before I forget, and this has been an incredible conversation, how can, if the listeners want to reach out to you, maybe ask for your advice, maybe, talk about becoming a client, how can they reach you?
Yeah, and we give all, prospective clients a free consultation. So 45 minutes, I mean, it's not a situation where I'm pitching you. It's a situation where we're talking about your problem. We're talking about how we would approach that problem. And we're giving you some real valuable strategic advice. So, but yeah, I mean, you can call our office, 720-306-1001. You could email us. My email is stan@doidalaw, DOIDALAW.com. Or Jenny in our office will get us set up and we'll see how we can help.
Great. And what's your website?
Oh yeah, www.doidalaw.com. That's DOIDA law.com. Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, I remember when you just said something. I remember, oh my God, when I asked you about, hey, I'm going to form this partnership to invest in some real estate. You said, you asked me a couple things. Have you thought about X, Y, and Z? And I'm like, oh my God, I thought I was super intelligent. No, I didn't think about any of that. So,
well, it's not your. I mean, you don't see all these things. You don't run through these things all day. That's what we
exactly.
do. So it doesn't mean you're not intelligent. I know otherwise.
Well, thanks again, Stan. This has been awesome. I appreciate you taking the time and.
This is great. Thanks, guys.